This app right here makes $2 million every single month, and all it does is build out your entire workout plan for you. And many apps doing exactly this are pulling in millions a month. And here's what's insane. 3 years ago, building something like this would have required a full engineering team, 6 figures in expenses, and at least 6 months of brutal development. But today I'm going to build this exact app using Rork without writing a single line of code. And I'm going to walk you through the entire process from start to finish. To actually make this app come to life, I built a custom 6-step system that I'm going to use in this video. So let's get right into it. Okay, now the first step before I build anything is to make sure that my app idea is actually validated. It's because it's the root of all of the success that you will get. If the idea is weak and no one has any need for it, then the app will not succeed, no matter how good it even is. So here are the 3 criteria that you must go through to find out if your app idea is good or not. 1, it must solve a frequent problem that people have. 2, you must be able to explain the app in 3 words or less. And 3, you must be able to make money from the app. And Fitbod, the app that I showed at the start of this video, meets all of these criteria. I found Fitbod from a website called sensortower.com. It's basically the website that everyone uses to find app ideas, because you can filter through different niches and even revenue, so it saves us a ton of time instead of manually filtering through different apps in the App Store. Okay, so now that we are confident in the app that we are building, it's time to structure the actual build. And this is the exact moment where 99% of people completely sabotage themselves. And I want you to understand why before we move forward. Most people just get an idea and immediately open up the AI builder and type something like build me a fitness app that tracks my workouts. And then what they get back is essentially a broken toy. And remember, we are not building a toy. We are building a premium mobile app, and that means that we need to think like an architect. So I'm going to use Opus 4.6 since it's the smartest model out there, and write a prompt like I am doing here. And make sure to ask it to specify the features that should be included in the app. And notice what I am deliberately not doing here. I am not asking it to write a single line of application code. I am essentially forcing Opus 4.6 to give me absolute clarity on the business logic and the data architecture first, just because they are the most important parts of the app. And this is what we can get in return: a production level technical blueprint. It simply maps out everything that we need to build this app and make sure that it's premium enough to be published to the App Store, which, by the way, I will teach you how to do later in the video, since it's now extremely easy to do with Rork. Okay, now that we have the full blueprint, let's start building the app by setting up the foundation. Okay, so I will be using Rork Max because it's genuinely the best AI app builder for mobile apps. No one is even close right now. So if you're going to be following me to build an app in this video, make sure to use Rork 2, and specifically their Rork Max model, which is their best model yet, even though it's a bit expensive. Okay, now the next step is actually very simple. Just copy and paste the instructions from Opus 4.6 like I am doing here, and it will start setting up everything for you. And the good thing about Rork is that they even have a mobile simulator on the side, as you can see here, so you can immediately see how your app will look like on a phone. So now let me just wait a few minutes for Rork to finish up the foundation of my app. Okay, and here we go. This is what the initial app looks like. It looks pretty solid, it has a ton of features, the UI looks standard for mobile apps, and if you notice, Rork's mobile simulator is even using iPhone's most recent liquid glass UI. So you know that Rork is up to date with the technology and everything is modern. But the first thing I notice here is that the app is in light mode, and most social media apps have an option to switch between light mode and dark mode, and most people will say that it's just noise to build out a feature like this, but I just want to do it for the video. Doing this is very simple. I can give Rork Max a vague prompt to add that feature, and I don't need to go into details of how I want the icons to look like or the exact RGB the app should use, or even where to position the dark mode button, just because Rork Max is smart enough to know and do all of these without any instructions. And it's done. So now if I go into settings, you can see that there's an appearance section right here with light mode and dark mode option. I just have to click on dark mode, and here we go. Now the entire app is in dark mode. Even if I go back to the dashboard, it's in dark mode too. So now we know that this feature works across the entire app. Before using Rork Max or any other AI app builders, I remember having to put hours in to add this kind of feature. I spent a ton of time trying to figure out the colors, where to display the actual dark mode toggle, and then even testing every single page in my app to make sure that every page has its own dark mode. And that was the most tiring part. And luckily Rork makes this so much easier for you. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is to add some key features to make our app better than everything else in the market. So to do that, we need to add 2 features. So the first feature is a built-in AI to recommend workouts to users based on on their experience and body. And the second feature is having influencer workouts integrated into the app, so that users can follow the workouts of their favorite influencers. And I believe this is a very important feature because many users get into fitness because of influencers that they watch and follow on social media. So having those influencers workouts listed inside our app will give users a strong reason to stick to our app instead of downloading something else. I will actually prompt both of those features simultaneously to save time. So now let me briefly prompt Rork to work on these features. And here we are, it says that it's ready. Now if you reload the app in this mobile simulator and click on the workouts button, you can see that we now have two new buttons, AI suggestions and influencer. The exact two features that we told Rork to make. And actually give me a second. Let me load up these features into my iPhone so I can show you how well Rork Max implemented these features. And by the way, everything in this video is written out in my step-by-step blog if I'm moving too fast, so you can check it out via the link in the description. Okay, so here I am on my mobile, so let's test the AI suggestions feature first. I click on this button that Rork created here and see, but here's the crazy part. If I click on this button in the top right, I can actually make another custom workout based on my age, body details, and even the goals that I want to optimize for. So let's just say that I am 32 and I have an advanced experience level, and I just want to optimize for general fitness, nothing specific. So I'll just choose those options and then click on save. And would you look at that? Now the built-in AI in my app created this custom workout for the details that I put in just a few seconds. And now if we click on it to expand it, it shows the specific exercises, the order in which to do them, and the sets and reps for each exercise. This is some really advanced stuff that Rork created in seconds that would otherwise take weeks or even months. Okay, now let's test it with something else. Let's say that I am 22 years old, similar weight and height, but my experience level is a beginner. So I'll just choose those options, click on save again, and there we go. Another custom workout, but this time for a young beginner who wants to optimize for general fitness. This is mind-blowing. Okay, so now let's test the other feature that we told Rork to make, which is the influencer workouts list. I'll click on the influencer button and wow, look at this huge list. There's already influencers like Chris Bumstead, Jeff Nippard, AthleanX, and so many more. And keep in mind, I didn't even tell Rork about these names, but it managed to find these names and replicate the exact workouts that they actually do. And if you know anything about fitness, you will know that these names are huge and tons of people follow them. So having this list in my app will attract a ton of users, which is of course the whole point of this app. And now that everything is done, it's time to publish the app to the App Store so we can finally start getting some users and start making money. And now you might think that this is complicated because of how complicated Apple makes their process to be, but surprisingly Rork makes this actually very easy. All you have to do is just to click on this publish button in the top right and it will open up a panel. You can then edit the details of your app like the logo, the platform, the name, version, and everything else that will appear on the App Store when the app is listed. And Rork also has a built-in image generator, which you can use to create a new logo for your app if you don't like the current one. I actually like the current logo and every detail that Rork has put in, so I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Now from here you have to connect your Apple developer account, which costs $99 per year. I have already connected my Apple developer account, as you can see here, so I'll just click on start submission one more time. And as you can see, Rork has the publication process, and it even verifies the code so that there are less chances of Apple rejecting your app's submission to the Apple App Store. Also, in a few seconds after clicking on start submission, Rork will send you a one-time password for confirmation if you have two-factor authentication set up on your account. I just got mine, so let me put it in and let's resume the submission process. This can take a few minutes, so I will just get back to you once it's done. And there we go, our app is submitted to TestFlight right now, which is where we can actually test the app on our phone. All you have to do is just to click on the beta invite link and it will generate a link that you can paste on your own browser. Or you can send a link to someone else on your team so that they can test out your app as well. Okay, now once the link is open, there are a few steps we have to follow to get the app running on our iPhone. The first thing is installing the TestFlight app on your phone, so just go over to the App Store and get it installed right now. And since I already have it installed, I will just click on the I have TestFlight button and then move on to the next stage. Here you need to enter in your Apple developer account email, and that's it. Now we are ready to open the app. Now here it says that the invitation has been sent to my email, so I will just open the link that I received in my email, and here's the page. All I have to do now is just to open the TestFlight app on my phone and then just enter in the code. Okay, so now here we are in TestFlight, so I will just tap on the redeem button and then put in the code that we just got. Now once you're done, give TestFlight a few seconds to load the actual app. And now here we go, the entire app is downloaded and it even gives us a few details of the app. So now to actually use the app, click on this big open button and perfect. And as you can see, it looks exactly the same as the app that we made in Rork using the mobile simulator. There's still the AI suggestions and the influencer features that we added earlier, our progress tab that keeps track of all our workouts, a community community tab to interact with other people that are using this app, and finally a standard settings page. Now there's literally no excuse in this era to not be able to build a premium functioning mobile app in just a few minutes. There are tools that exist to go all the way to a live, distributed native application on an iPhone in a single day. And the only thing standing between most people and a shipped product is just the decision to actually finish. So finish your app and actually ship it. Okay, so now the app has a ton of great functionalities and is even published to the App Store. But we need to improve one very important aspect of every app, the user interface, or the UI. And the reason why the UI is so important and why we must improve it before we really should publish the app to the App Store is because of functions, and most people don't install for functions. They install because the UI and the design looks better than other similar apps in the App Store. Design builds trust in the first 3 seconds before a user has even interacted with the app. And if your app looks cheap, users will just assume that the functions behind the app is cheap too. So the perception is very important here. And luckily this is very easy to do with the method I'm about to teach you. Just head over to mobbin.com and look for any UI that you like. I personally really like this one, and I think it will suit the theme of our app and match the user's psychology very well. So what I'm going to do is just to take a screenshot of this page right here, and I go back to Rork and paste it in the chat, and then I will just tell it to change the entire UI of the app to match the image I just attached. And I think it's also safe to tell it to keep the dark mode and the light mode feature that we added, since we don't want that feature to be removed just to add this one. That would just be counterintuitive. And here we go, the UI looks brand new and a lot more premium. Here you can see a before and after. I personally would love to use an app that looks like this over how it looked before. And that's the same thought process that your users will go through too. So you must make sure that they like the UI and the design. Okay, now let's talk about something that no one ever talks about, the marketing. Everything we have done up to this point, the validation, the architecture, the build, the polish, the deployment, all of this was just a preparation for this. Because here's the uncomfortable truth that most app building content completely misses. A great product sitting in the App Store with zero distribution strategy makes exactly the same amount of money as a product that was never built at all. The App Store is really not a discovery engine for new apps, it's more of a search engine for apps people already know that they want. So if no one knows that your app exists, the App Store will do nothing for you. And of course, when you first launch your app to the App Store, you will get some paid users and downloads, but 99.9% of the users will come from your marketing efforts. So now let's build the growth machine. And I want to be specific here, because generic advice like post on TikTok or run some ads is completely useless without the strategic thinking underneath it. So everything I'm about to walk you through is designed specifically for what this particular app produces, and also who uses it and where those people already spend all of their time. So the first thing we do is to reverse engineer where the users already gather before we try to reach them anywhere. We do not run paid ads from day one, and we do not spam our personal networks asking our friends to download the app. We find out where the people who already care deeply about fitness already live online, and then we figure out how to embed our product to that culture rather than trying to pull people away from it. So now hardcore fitness communities who will find a need for our app usually live in the comment section of micro fitness influencers on TikTok and Instagram. They probably also use Reddit communities like fitness and gym a lot to ask questions. And this type of audience is very beneficial because these are people who already seek out fitness content, engage with it daily, and make purchasing decisions based on the recommendations from influencers that they trust. And that is exactly the distribution environment that we wanted to be inside. Now, the second piece is the unique distribution hook. And this is the part I want you to think about the most carefully, because it's the decision that separates apps that grow organically from apps that depend entirely on paid acquisition to survive. And trust me, you would much rather be on the organic side. So the question I asked myself when designing this was very simple. What does this app naturally produce as a byproduct of someone using it? What does it already generate that people would want to show other people? And the answer for this app is compelling performance data. Now let me explain. Every week, a user who is consistent with this app accumulates genuinely impressive numbers like total training volume, progressive overload percentages, and workout completion rates. And that data tells a story about discipline and progress that people instinctively want to share, just because it reflects well on them. Users share data like this because it makes them look dedicated and consistent to everyone who follows them. It strokes their ego in a completely legitimate way because they did the work, so the app is just surfacing the proof. But from our perspective as the product owner, every single one of these shares is a zero-cost advertisement being delivered to a warm audience by a trusted peer. The person sharing it has already implicitly endorsed the product, and actually this is exactly like the Spotify Wrapped playbook. You know, that annual moment that Spotify has where millions of people voluntarily turn Spotify's product product into their own social content. So the product is marketing itself through organic behavior that users are motivated to do. Now the third component is the influencer flywheel. And this is what takes the organic sharing behavior into the next level. So we can add a full affiliate program directly inside the app settings for creators to participate in. Then we reach out specifically to fitness influencers in the 10,000 to 50,000 follower range, not any mega influencers with millions of followers and $1 million sponsorship rates, because that is just unnecessary for a new app, but just micro influencers with a tight but highly engaged and deeply trusting communities who's actually taking action on their recommendations. And then we offer them two things. The first is free lifetime premium access to the app, and the second is a 30 to 50% revenue share on every single subscriber that they bring in through their unique affiliate link. And the pitch to their audience writes itself. The creator will say something like, my exact 4-day training split is now available in this app. Use my link to download it and follow my program directly. And then their audience gets access to the creator's actual program, and the creator gets a recurring income stream in return. So this way we get high trust and high intent traffic from audiences that are already ready to pay for our app. Now you can use a tool like Rewardful or Tolt to manage all of the affiliate links, track all of the conversions accurately, and automate the revenue share payouts so that we are never manually running spreadsheets or chasing down payment calculations, because trust me, it's very tiring and you will make a ton of mistakes that can seriously affect your app's performance. At this point, we are not running an experimental app anymore. We are locked in on building a machine with clearly defined inputs and measurable outputs. And we have a proven multi-million-dollar market with demonstrated willingness to pay. We have a genuine AI differentiation that justifies the subscription price point, and we have a viral distribution system built directly into the core product experience so that the user growth compounds as more and more people use and download the app. So the entire initial version of this product was architected, built, polished, and deployed in well than under an hour. But this distribution system that we just designed will bring us thousands of dollars for years, and maybe even millions of dollars if you do everything right. Okay, now let's take a step back and look at what actually just happened here. In roughly under 30 minutes, we went from an idea to a fully functional app on our iPhone, and all of this without writing a single line of code. Now, if you found this video helpful, you could like and subscribe if you want to, and drop a comment below telling me what you're building next. I read all of the comments. And we also have a free Discord community if you need any help. Link is in the description. I also made a video breaking down how to clone an app, pulling in over $10,000 per month. You can check it out right here. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy building.